If you remember from my last video on this X-2000M, it needed new belts, and also the mechanism for lifting the pinch roller up was quite stiff. So I was waiting for the belts to arrive so that I could do some work on it. And anyway, the belts have arrived. Two belts, one thin long one and one fat shorter one. I'm going to take a break from the 1000 ZXL and work on the X-2000. As far as I can figure, there should be nothing else wrong with it apart from loosening up all of the mechanics and replacing the belts, and everything else being okay. That should be it. So I'm going to do that in this video. Okay, I'm starting to wonder where to start, and I think the first thing is that these little tension reels here and here, I'll take them off because I'm pretty sure I'll need to get behind. Now, taking them off, you just turn the little black knob on the outside, but you'll notice that there's little tiny washers on that side and that side, so you need to ensure that they don't get lost. Oh, this one here, I'm not sure how that will come off, but this one here, the take-up one, once again, just unturn the black lid on the top, making sure that you don't lose any washers that may or may not be there. And sure enough, there's washers there. Okay, now what else do we have? Well, we have the two pinch rollers, so likewise the top black shell comes off, and once again there's a washer there, so there'll be a washer on the bottom as well. I'll take them off for both. I'll do the same for the left. Good, so all the washers are there, that's nice to know. Time to get onto the other side. Oh, these things are heavy. Put this aside safely. First thing I noticed is that we're on the left hand side. This is the tension lever, and it can hit this little foam block here, and it was shedding a bit of crap. Yeah, you can see it's cutting away there now. Oh, it's just fallen off. Oh dear. Well, there you go. And it's just crumbling now. Yeah, look at that. Oh God. Well, that's no good for anything. I thought I could just leave it there, but no. Alright. Might take me a while to find something suitable to replace it with, but I think I've got something in mind. Put something underneath it while I scrape it away. So. Alright, I'll clean that up. Okay, I've managed to clean off the face of that metal angle piece. Now, what I found is some reasonably high density foam, which is 10 millimeters wide and 13 high, and it's pretty close to what was there before. And of course it's quite long. I've cut off a strip of it, so it looks to be how long? 15 long by 10 wide by 12 high. Anyway, that's it there. A little block like that. So I'll peel off the backing and paste it in. Squeeze it on. So when that comes up, it'll hit that. Beauty. Alright, that's perfect. Well, wasn't expecting that job, but still. I noticed there's one on the other side, so I'll replace him as well. That's for the left hand one. Okay, both of these have now been replaced with new foam rubber, so when the arm comes up, it'll hit that nicely. Okay, what's next? Okay, now I need access into all of the mechanics, all of it, to grease and oil and clean everything. So the question is, how do I do that? Now, I have undone the two screws that hold the back circuit board on. So it's loose like this. Now, I want to either hook it to one side or on the top or the bottom. Any of these will do with the least amount of trouble. Give me a few minutes to figure it out. The top joins are soldered to parts on the top, and everything underneath seems to be pretty much using connectors. Now, that could mean that if I undo all the connectors, and there's a lot of them, I'd have to number them, it should just tilt over the top. Now, if I can do that, that would be great. Well, after removing all the connectors, I'm able to move it out of the way. So yes, I will be able to set it up on top or to the side somehow. I'll have to make sure it's not flopping around in the breeze. But yes, it all came loose, and now look, it's all beautifully open, which is great. In fact, I might even be able to leave it on its side, which means that this can rest. It's reasonably happy like that. I might have to take a few photographs to ensure that I try and put it back in a semblance of how it was. Not sure how useful these will be, but I think in the end they'll just go back into where they come from, and sort of that'll be that. My main aim now is to try and just keep these looms out of the way so that they don't interfere with what I'm doing. There's a few of these little black metal plastic shrouded tabs for holding the looms back. I'll try and remember how they all work. Yeah, this camera is quite good. It's a little old Nikon, but it has great macro. The first thing for me to do is to change the belts and ensure the flywheels and capstan is all running happily. I don't like to pull on the wires on a connector if I can help it. Sometimes it's just inevitable. Well, I'll undo this board. It might make matters a little bit easier. Then again, I should have undone those two instead. there's a transistor connected to it. Put that back on. Now undo these two instead. Now there's some heatsink compound underneath it, naturally. Yeah, you can see the heatsink compound. Right, now undo this connector. Yeah, it's on a bit tight. Right, there we go. So I'll recollect this heatsink compound and place it on the flange. I won't bother putting any new stuff on. This should be sufficient. Just in there like that. Right, now back on. Okay, so we're almost there. Alright, I think we're right now. As far as I can tell, there's 4 screws holding on this back plate that the capstan motor sits on. 1, 2. Okay, no, there's something else. There's a 5th one. Yeah, okay. Right, there she blows. Yes, this capstan motor here sits in there like that, and it rotates like that. But as you can see, this beast never had the second belt. Whoever replaced the belt thought that they didn't need the second belt. They were quite mistaken. So measuring against the one I got, and yeah, it's pretty much the same. So they got that part of it right, but they forgot the second one. Yeah, this belt feels pretty good actually, but that history. So now what I need to do is to see how I get these capstans out. They just pull out. Okay, now I have to be careful that on the other side there's no washers. Yes, there are very large washers on the other side, so there's a washer on this side. Just fell off. It's a little tiny one. No, yeah, the large one on the other side just fell down. So, yeah, there it is. Now the flange side is on the front, and the large flat side is on the motor side. So, and it looked a little bit awkward to put in without doing it at the same time as putting this back in. So it means that I need to hold this into place when I put this back in, which I'll have to rearrange how I'm doing it so that I can see both sides at the same time. I may have to do it from this side with my right arm this side and left arm this side. So that's what it goes there, but it goes like that. And it's an interference fit fairly tight. Now these are fairly clean actually, so that's good. Now arguably, did I need to take that off? Let's have a look. The thing is, I don't really want to have to do this again. Certainly not in the next foreseeable many years, so what's the harm in doing it? So let's get a cotton bud up there, swap it around and see how clean or not it is. Ah, clean as a whistle. Ah, beautiful. Alright, so I probably needn't have taken out the capstan shaft, but no harm. Alright, I'll give these a clean anyway, whether they like it or not. The motor feels great. I don't see any sense in pulling it apart. The only thing I can think of is maybe the back bearing could do with a bit of oil. On the capstan motor, I'm going to put a drop of oil down in there, just as I say, I don't want to ever have to pull this machine apart again. So if I know I did everything possible to it, then all is well. To get to the back bearing, I think I need to, let's see what happens when I, oh, they're on tight, or they're glued on tight. And now this should just rotate. Oh dear, no, it's oh, the motors. It's actually separately encased in this metal box. So to get to the back bearing, I've got to do a bit more work. Oh, that's disappointing. I mean, it's good as far as the motor goes, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. I think it'll be alright. I mean, it feels great. Yeah, that's going to be just too much danger. If taking off that back cover of the motor in there, it's possible that I may have to push away on the brushes, and that's always a big risk, because if you bend or break those brushes, that's it. You're in strife. And I've done that before, where I've bent the brushes and it took a lot of effort to get them back to being okay. So no, that's not worth the risk. Yeah, put it back on. I mean, it feels beautiful. So yeah, as much as it's be nice to oil and grease everything, sometimes you you just have to weigh up the risk. Right, so the next thing, after wanting to have a go at this, but still, it's good, no probs, no problem whatsoever. Next thing is all of this mechanism. Oh yeah, feel how stiff that is. There's a couple of solenoids there, and it pushes on this whole assembly. Oh, it's greasy as all. Alright, so first thing to do is to remove this clip that holds it. I take that right out, that makes it a little bit easier. I think I need to take off the front, or part of the front, to get to this. Alright, more investigation required. I'm pretty sure that I need to now actually take off a lot of this front panel stuff, which may make it easier to get those washers on the capstan drives anyway, so I'll take off this front cover and go from there. Okay, finally got the right Allen key, so let's see if this helps me. For the capstan, I was a bit worried about that one, but it appears to be separate. This can come completely out. So, well, I'm not particularly keen on pulling it all the way out. Sometimes the longer way is the shortest method. It's nice to have little looms though for a change, instead of hard wires everywhere like in the 3300 series decks. Alright, now to get this plastic off. That one screw there. Okay, there's a lot to take apart. Looks as though the whole assembly comes right through, which means 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and possibly these 2. Yeah, okay, so that means maybe 6 screws. Let's see how we go. And on the other side, as far as I can tell, there's nothing. At this point, I believe I could have actually kept the flywheels on to remove this, but we shall see for sure. But yeah, it had to be removed anyway. And it is indeed loose now, so there's, I think we've got it. So let's take the screws out. I'm holding the back of it with my left hand, and they are all the same length. Okay, so now with a bit of luck it should all follow through. There's 2 looms that are still connected to it. A pair of black wires and another group of 4 black, 1 white, 1 red. And they go to the heads, of course, and the erase head. So they go to all the heads. Now, no, I don't believe they're connectors. they're soldered in somewhere. So I think what I do is unscrew the head assembly off the mechanism. I think that will do the trick. Yes, I think that will do. As far as I can tell, there's four screws doing that. Right, now you can see here there's the wires for the head and the wires for the record replay. What we'll do is, I'm pretty sure I know which, oops, I need something to put it on. Oh, this might do. Now, as far as I can tell, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Don't forget there's this little shield that goes there. Now, is it loose? Yes, it is. Alright. But before we actually pull it off, there's these little tabs that are holding the looms in. One there, and one up the other end for the array head loom. So we need to get that away. Whoops. And there we go. Alright, so we've got the whole mechanism away, and the head assembly is separate now. And having a good look at the heads, yeah, they look fantastic. Now what we're going to do is, because this is all separate now, I'm going to have to just carefully lay that heads there. Now I've got this separate, I can work on this separately to grease and oil it, and then put it all back in the reverse order. Oh, it's so stiff, and all the grease is just gone to, oh, almost hard glue. Alright, now I normally work on this bench to do this stuff, but I don't want to disturb the machine how it is, so I'll have to do it on a separate table. I'll put these screws back in so I know where they're from, and put this aside. Alright, I won't bother showing you me pulling this apart and cleaning it. It's pretty obvious what I'm going to be doing, so I'll get back to you.